Because I don't think we put a chair in to the cart, and then you got on top of the chair the cart.
I was standing on something in this cart.
It was squirrely, though. Yeah, it was squirrely because I was holding...
Yeah, I was 215 pounds standing in a shopping cart trying to reach some box off the top shelf.
Yeah. I don't know the guy's name, but he was, well, he pretended not to be a collector.
Yeah.
He was buddy with you, but you know, every chance he got, he would.
But he was selling at Frankenstein's, and he had a booth, and he was, and you know, these guys, they were so excited because they made table rent. You know, the booth at that time, you know, I don't know what it is now. What was it, $45, $50?
It was about $50
for a table.
I was like a I don't know. It was a 10 by 10 space. It wasn't even that big.
No, it wasn't even that big.
Yeah,
you know,
we had a double space.
Yeah, and you know, but these guys would be ecstatic because they busted their butt to find this stuff all week long, and they sold enough stuff that it covered their gas, and you know, he'd make $100 for the day, but he's got 30-40 hours of work into making, you know, after he paid all his bills and paid for the merchandise, the guy might have made $20. And I watched the guy go back and forth to the food cart. He ate 40.
Yeah. I made over $1,000 on a Wednesday.
You guys have experience with that because you guys actually have been there.
Yeah.
When does it see until it starts coming out of your pocket? Or
it's a hobby.
Break even?
Look.
Or can somebody really make a living?
Yeah. It's difficult though. You have to have 3 or 4 spaces. I think you have to be really committed. You have to have stuff that you have to repeat customers. But let me tell you exactly what would happen. So Saturdays were the profitable days, and Wednesdays weren't very profitable. But you have to do Wednesday if you're going to do Saturday, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. Especially if you leave the stuff there, you know, you just had to do Wednesday. Wednesday wasn't very profitable. But I remember I made over $1,000 on a Saturday one time.
A Wednesday.
Or no, on a Wednesday.
Wednesday
night.
Yeah,
it was on a Wednesday night. Yeah. The problem with being there and being a collector, like I was talking about earlier, I don't know, and I would sometimes make, you know, a couple $100 on a Saturday, but by the time I got home, I would have, you know, it'd be negative $50, $60 because I'd be walking around, right, while somebody's at my booth. I'd be walking around buying stuff, you know, or trading.
Or I'd be there selling. He'd come back and be like, "Sweet, I just made $100," and he's like, "Hey, look what I bought! I spent $120." You know, and I'm, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Or people would come by the booth and want to sell stuff, or they'd be walking by with a box, and be like, "Oh, what do you got there?" "Oh yeah, I'm looking to sell this." I don't know. "Well, let me see what you got. Maybe I'll buy it."
Oh,
we'd find deals like that every once in a while. Someone would be like, "I just need to get out of it." You know, these guys wouldn't make any money. These guys are blowing hundreds of dollars. They're doing what we're doing. And, you know, it wasn't uncommon for us to go into a Toysrus and, shit, they just got all the new Star Wars, or they just got all the new, you know, series of wrestling. And we'd spend $200, $300. And, you know, I mean, this was some years ago. This stuff was a lot cheaper than it is now.
Yeah.
But, you know, we spent $200, $300, and now we're thinking, okay, it's Tuesday, we're going tomorrow. What's the chance we get our money back? There wasn't a chance. You know, you had to be willing to sit on it for a little while.
Sure, yeah.
And, you know, a lot of the people, they couldn't afford to do that. We were lucky at the point where, you know, we had the money to do it, but where we were smart about it was we were sitting around talking trash and goofing off, and we got the idea, we've got wholesale license.
Yeah.
Why don't we just call Jack Specific and see what their minimum is? So we did that, and we called and got the minimums, and figured out what that was, and that's how we got all the Rocky figures. It was $300.
The minimum was you just had to purchase up to $300.
And they were local. They were right down the street from Frankenstein's.
Right down the street. So instead of going to Walmart to buying these figures, we would order them directly from Jack's. I would pull in. I remember I pulled in with my truck, and at the time there was nothing but semis going in there because Toysrus trucks would be there, Target trucks would be picking up product, and I'd go in there with my Chevy Avalanche. Go in there and I'd pick up my 3 or 4 boxes, right? and drive them right to Frankenson's, open them up, and I'd have brand new inventory that wasn't even out in the stores, right?
So instead of you guys spending that $300 at Walmart or Target,
we were probably getting about a third to half as much more inventory because we were getting it at cost.
Yeah, because at Toysrus I'd have to pay $7.99 plus tax for a Jack's action
and we were getting
figure.
them for like
$4.50
$4 or something,
with no tax, right? $4.50. So
and then the classics, I think they were at the time they were like $10 or $12 in the store.
Yeah,
and we were getting them. I think our cost was like $7.50.
Yeah, $7.50. I remember it was $7.50.
So we were getting it for $7.50. So the thing that we were able to do is we were able to undercut everyone's price. Mm-hmm. So now the chase piece would be Hogan or Warrior, and everybody's buying it for $12. Well, they want to sell it for $25, $30. Yeah. We're getting it for $7. So if we walk around and we wouldn't put it out, we'd see what everyone's selling it for. If they're selling it for $30, well, shit, we'd sell it for $27, $28. So we'd sell out, and we're still making the same profit margins, you know, but we'd make our money back a lot faster.
Yeah.
And then we'd wind up with, and we're still buying stuff, and we're still buying stuff from Toysrus and from Walmart. So, you know, then we still had all the other inventory.
Yeah, you just can't quit when you're treasure hunting. We would go because we like on a night like today, you know, we would sit around and talk and watch TV or whatever we're doing.
We'd watch a movie till 1 in the morning, then we'd go out to the 24-hour Walmart.
Yeah, we'd go
or the 24-hour Kmart.
Yeah, 24. We would hit all the 24-hour stores. We'd get Walmart, Kmart. I mean, we'd be out till 2, 3 in the morning, you know, toy hunting. As ridiculous as that sounds.
And then we'd go home, go to bed, and be up at 6, 7 a.m. because we'd have to hit the 8 a.m. open for Toys R Us.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's almost like a full-time gig when you're doing that, you know. But, you know, that's how you accumulate the kind of inventory that I have here, and then my front room, which is, I mean, if you're seeing it for the first time, it has to take you back. I mean, you were impressed with how much stuff. I think every time you come over, you
see something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what he tries to do is he tries to find something I don't have.
Yeah, I'm trying to stump
the
him.
80s.
Hey, do you have this? And lo and behold, he does. You know, I was like, okay. Well,
yeah, you don't have anything that pertains to Smurfs, boom. You don't have anything that pertains to Rainbow Bright or GI Joe or Star Wars. Is really
and the fact that you're sitting here talking about that you have Rainbow Bright, like your man card is getting revoked.
It's not,
but it's iconic 80s.
You're in the wrong. You're in the wrong universe because my 1,000 subscribers. They're all toy hunters. They're all toy collectors.
I know.
Yeah, they love Rainbow. But I have bronies on here watching my channel right now. Yeah. A brony is, you know what a brony is? Yeah. They collect My Little Ponies.
Yes.
Right? Actually, My Little Ponies is more collected by males than it is females. They have a documentary on bronies.
What about Strawberry Shortcake and Hello Kitty and stuff
Strawberry
like that?
Shortcake was great.
Hello Kitty is a little
after 20. No, after this is a 30+ year toy.
Oh yeah.
And it still smells like strawberries. I have strawberry.
It's got to be cancer causing, but I mean,
I think it's the same kind of crap they put on McDonald's French fries. So when you leave them out for about 2 years,
they don't change.
I noticed you have those old schoolhouse stickers.
The scratch and sniffs. Yeah.
Do they still have scent on them?
They do. Do you know that that's a huge collectible market?
What, the stickers?
The scratch and sniff stickers.
You know the
they're
one
expensive.
thing I don't. You may have one box, and I think you have one box, but it's so hard to find.
Yeah.
Shrinky Dinks.
Oh, I do. I have Knight Rider Shrinky Dinks, and I have Alf Shrinky Dink.
Yeah, but those are super hard to find because they did everything.
They did.
But I mean, most of those have just deteriorated and.
Yeah, I think I'm exaggerating it because I don't think we put a chair in to the cart, and then you got on top of the chair the cart.
I was standing on something in this cart.
It was squirrely, though. Yeah, it was squirrely because I was holding...
I was 215 pounds standing in a shopping cart trying to reach some box off the top shelf.
Yeah. And then we got the box. Well, you didn't even reach the box. You just knocked it down.
Yeah, I knocked all of them down.
And
there's like 6 boxes on the ground, and we just kind of opened what we wanted and got the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah. That was a good store.
It was the Mission Viejo Toys R Us.
That's where we learned that's where we learned the difference between the stores. Did you know there's a difference between the Toys R Us?
No, what's the difference?
Because there's A stores, there's B stores, and there's C stores. So the Toys R Us and Cerritos was a B store, right?
I believe so.
I think it was a B store. The Mission Viejo was an A store, and the A stores have way more merchandise. They order almost double the amount as the B stores, so you have a better chance of finding chase pieces and other things.
And then I think the malls were like C stores, where it was a lot of almost like a pop up.
Yeah, or the Toys R Us Express at the Citadel. That was a C store. They don't hardly have shit.
So that's where the leftover inventory goes to, probably one of those stores.
Yeah, or they just don't order as much.
Oh, okay.
You know, so imagine there's a chase piece like I was talking about, like this Sith Trooper, right? And he's just one out of 12 that's in the case. Well, if you have an A store and you got 3 cases, then there's going to be
potentially three of those chase pieces.
Potentially, right?
Whereas a B store would probably only have 1 or 2.
Yeah. I think you remember Wobbles, right? You call him Wobbles.
I don't even remember what his real name was.
I don't know his real name. If you're watching this, Wobbles.
What? His name was Wobbles?
He wobbled.
That's what we called him. We called him Wobbles. I don't think the guy took a shower or watched it. He wore the same thing every day.
Oh, poor guy.
He was working for another collector. Yeah. The guy owned multiple spaces out at Frank's.
You guys were
Frank
at
and
Frank's
Sons.
for a while.
Yeah.
He was a pain on our side because although he wobbled, he was pretty fast. You know, he would have.
He show up everywhere you guys would go.
He would show up in the morning, right? So when the doors open, it's a free for all.
Well, yeah, that's what we were talking about. Remember, early in the mornings, the lines are already out in front of the store.
You would even though you get there first, we would have to play interference. Like what I would do is I would get in front of Wobbles and I'd start walking really slow, and he'd try to get past me. But by the time he got past me,
they'd go single file into the store. Yeah. So there was still a code, and you'd line up in, and then you'd get these soccer moms that would show up, thinking they were going to run in and get something real quick, and we're looking at them like, I don't know what you think you're doing, but the line's back there, lady. So what we would do is we'd have to beat Wobbles, and we're getting at this store like an hour and a half early because he'd be standing there.
Wow.
So he didn't have a car.
He took the bus.
Okay.
So but he'd still be there. Okay. You know, no matter what store.
So that was like a routine for him.
It was a routine.
He had a routine of what he hit every day.
Sure.
So Fabio would get in line, and then I would cut in front of Fabio, and they'd open the doors. And once you got past, there was the outer door, and then there was where the carts would go, then there was an inner door. Yeah. And once you get into the inner door, I'd take off running, and Fabio would be walking all slow getting to the door. And I had my little route. I knew exactly what I was hitting and what I was going for.
Well, we'd have a game plan. We on the way over in the car.
we would talk what we needed that day, what we were looking for.
So Jeff would be like, Am I going for wrestling or Star Wars?
So you know what area to go to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, WWE's got new Ultimate Warrior out. I want that. Let's get that. Okay, I'm going to hit wrestling first. Okay, great. So we'd have a routine. But get this, okay? After we were done Toys R Us, we're like, hey, let's go to Mission Viejo or Alicio Viejo to that one. Or let's go to
Alicio Viejo or Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach. So we would go. So we'd hit Huntington Beach. We'd go to Huntington Beach, right? We'd leave that store, go to Huntington Beach, walk in there. Now, obviously, we couldn't get there right when it opens because they all open at the same time. We had to hit Cerritos. Get there, right? Maybe about 45 minutes after it opened, and we're in there trying to find whatever's left over and somebody maybe missed because someone hit that store in the morning, right? And I think he does. I'm not sure it was the same guy. But anyway, we'd be there, and I'm not kidding you. About 15, 20 minutes after we're in there looking for... Who walks in? Wobbles! How the hell did he do it? He didn't have a car.
Where'd he go? From
Cerritos to he was everywhere. Yeah. And then we'd hit the Walmart down by,
off a beach.
And
by the 22? No, by the 405, isn't it?
Right off the 22 and Beach.
Yeah. Here he would come in walking again about 5-10 minutes after we got there.
He's on your guys' trail.
He was hot on our trail. I just don't know how he did it.
Well, the problem with him is he didn't have the money to buy stuff, and he was buying for someone else. So he would find this stuff, and the guy would give him enough money to buy certain items, and then if he found something he'd buy with his own money, he'd sell it to this guy. The guy would give him a couple extra dollars for finding it, and he'd sell it. Well, if he didn't have the money to buy things, we caught him multiple times. He'd bend the edges of the card. So he would take...
He'd ruin the
it'd
card.
be on the thing. I'm not bending nothing. I know better.
That's on eBay.
I know better.
Okay.
But he would crease the card so there'd be a crease in the corner.
Yeah.
So
then people wouldn't want it.
People, at least the collectors, wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
And,
so what would be the purpose of him wanting it?
Because if he couldn't buy it,
he'd rather have
rather
in
nobody.
The competition.
He'd basically ruin it for everyone.
Because he's going to find it somewhere else at another
and not
time.
only that, you got to remember that a lot of us, we were buying and reselling at Frank and Sons and other collectible shows, which it would all end up there. So now, you know, we'd be doing this during the week, and on Saturday, here comes this big sale, and in my booth, I have 3 of these. And the booth Wobble's working for, the guy he's buying for, you know, he'd have 3 of these, and then it'd be in competition. But if he bends the card, he can't buy it. He bends the card, even though the other guy wouldn't have as many in his booth, I would have none.
So basically, he's just spoiled it for everybody.
He spoiled it. Yeah, he's trying. What he's trying.